So there's the kale, right? Definitely some greenery, definitely growing. That's what a carrot looks like when it starts to grow in its second year. There's at least 2 plants in there, maybe, yeah, I think there's 2 plants. Hey, it's Greg here with maritimegardening.com, and I thought I'd do a little follow-up video here. This little dome, underneath this dome, has some plants that I let stay in the ground over winter so I can harvest their seeds this spring, summer. So what have I got under here? I've got carrots, kale, salsify, and parsnip, I believe. So let's pop this off and see what kind of shape they're in. Let me bring the camera in a little bit better. So here we've got, this is kale, and this is definitely growing. So the reason you'd want to do this for a plant is if it couldn't survive the winter. So I know many of you, and I'm in zone 6A, and most people find that their kale survives the winter in zone 6A. I don't find that, maybe it's just the varieties I grow, but this wild sort of Siberian kale that I like, despite its namesake, I don't find that it really does so well in the winter here. I don't know why. But this definitely survived. I mean, it's growing and it's got green foliage. Over here, this is a carrot. So carrots where I live, they never survive the winter in the ground unless they're underneath some sort of protective dome. Carrots never survive the winter. Back here I've got a parsnip just starting to grow. Big one, almost 3 inches in diameter. And back here in this corner I've got Salsify, which is kind of like a carrot-shaped plant, but it doesn't taste anything like carrot. So there's the kale, right? Definitely some greenery, definitely growing. That's what a carrot looks like when it starts to grow in its second year. There's at least 2 plants in there, maybe, yeah, I think there's 2 plants, maybe 3. That's carrot. That little bit of green is the salsify. And right, you can see that parsnip there. Right, that's the parsnip just starting to grow, so it survived the winter. All these things survive the winter. So yeah, where I am, I find salsify tends to survive the winter uncovered, and parsnips survive the winter uncovered. Siberian kale and carrots die 9 times out of 10 in the winter here. I've got friends that live 30 minutes from me. They got no problem with those things surviving the winter, so, you know, go figure, right? But another reason you'd want to hive them off in a corner like this is that some of these plants get very big when they go to seed. They cast a lot of shade. So you wouldn't want them in a regular garden bed where you're trying to get things to grow. You kind of want them stuffed off in this is sort of a corner here, right? You want them stuffed off in a corner somewhere so they can get as big as they want to get and not shade out the other plants you're trying to grow. A salsify plant gets like 3-4 feet high. So does a kale plant. The carrot plant is about 3 feet wide. It's just this huge Queen Anne's lace looking thing, right? So, and same with the parsnip. The parsnips, 4-5 feet high, huge flowers everywhere, right? So all of these things become quite big, quite ungainly, and if you've got them in with other things you're trying to grow, beans, lettuce, beets, carrots, whatever, they cast so much shade on everything else, they really limit the potential of things to grow in a given garden bed. So aside from just, moving them off into a corner and putting them under a protective dome so that they're just sort of comfy all winter, another reason sticking them over like this is just to get them out of the way so they can go to flower, they can attract all the bees and whatever they attract, and they can go about their business without being a detriment to the other things that you're trying to grow in your garden. So anyway, I just thought I'd do a little, I talked about this in the fall when I set this thing. I pulled all of these out of the beds they were growing in, nestled them in the ground here on the gamble that they'd survive the winter anyway. And they seem to have done that. So it all seems to have worked out just fine. So I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. Check out my podcast, maritimegardening.com. And until next time, get out there, get at it, have fun in your garden. Thanks for watching.